Alright guys, so in the last video, we made it so that we can hold down right click, slow down time for all the different objects in the world. Basically just changing the global time dilation. This video, I want to make it so that we can slow down objects going through a bubble. Also, as soon as the bubble deletes, they will go back to normal speed. Or as soon as they pass out of the bubble as well. So, let's get into it. Alright guys, so I went ahead and went through and deleted everything. I'm going to make a new folder in our blueprints folder for first person. I call this time bubble. Actually, just like time stuff. Because, and you know what, yeah, in here we're going to go ahead and make a couple of things, because this will affect both our time bubble, and then in our next video we're going to be making it to where we can slow down a single object by just picking it using a line trace. So with this, I want to go ahead and let's make an enumerator. I'm going to call this time object. Okay, we'll fill these out in here in a second. Blueprints, we're going to do a blueprint interface. Let's call this the time interface. Really quick, we'll do the enumerator because it's pretty fast. For this, I like having an enumerator because inside of our interface, I like asking the other object what it is. So like we can actually, let's say we're using the first person character to do all these interactions or make all these calls on what to do with the different time things, or if we're using a player controller or the game state or whatever, right? For this, I like to add in different stuff. So like for this one, we can say that it is a cube. Add in projectile. Actually, I'm gonna make that one first because that's what we're working on today, is messing with the projectiles. Okay, type that there. Paste projectile. Oh, fine. Don't let me just type it. There we go. Cube. You know, these could be whatever you want them to be. Just something to differentiate these different things. Because maybe we want to add a certain amount of time dilation if it's a projectile, and a different time dilation if it's a cube. That makes sense. I just like doing this. I've been doing this a lot lately with a lot of my interact interfaces, a lot of just anything, because it's a nice ish way of just finding out what the other object is without having to cast to it or anything like that. Yeah. And then within our time interface is this first function. We can just say time type, and with that we'll do an output, and it will be, we can change it, the time enumerator. What do we name that enumerator? Time, what do we name that? Forgot already. Time object enumerator. I'm just gonna copy that. It's there we go. Grab our enumerator. See, then they'll be able to switch this and the object that is utilizing the time interface. Okay, and then let's also do the function. And this one would be flow time. We want an input for that, and we'll just do a float time dilation. That way we can pass through exactly how much time dilation we want to pass through by any given object. And I mean, there's other ways of doing this. I'm just doing it like this because I really like having a centralized area that kind of takes care of everything. We could do it to where it's just inside of the time bubble, Speaking of which, let's go ahead and make the folder for the time bubble and just name it accordingly, time bubble. And inside that folder, we're going to make a new blueprint class of type actor. Just call it time bubble underscore BP. Open that up. In here, all we really need is a sphere. And I'm just going to call this the bubble because I'm not very creative. All right, now let's go to our collision. And what we're going to do first was we're going to do overlap all dynamic first, but you'll notice something down here. Projectile is blocked. So what we want to do is do custom. And so like by making it overlap all dynamic at first, notice all of these switch to overlap for us, and then we can go custom. It stays like that for us, and then we can just switch that one. So a little bit of a quick trick. And yeah, if we keep that in the center there, it'll spawn a center point like from that. So yeah, I'll do that. In the video, if you liked how that was a full bubble, because this will be kind of a half bubble if we shoot it at the ground. All you gotta do is raise it up to where it's above the grid here. But for this, I'm gonna try it out with it on the grid, so it's spawning with it, you know, half in the ground, half out, and just but still bubble-ish. All right, so we already changed that. Let's go ahead and change the size of our bubble. I think I went with about like 3 in the intro. And then this white is really bright and annoying. So let's go ahead and how I normally do things, material, and I'll just make this for the bubble itself. We'll just call this bubble mat. I usually do a color for everything so I can reuse it later on, but I don't think I'm going to be making any more materials for anything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this. I need to slow down. What am I doing here? All right, guys. So hold 3, left click. This will give you a vector 3 or constant vector 3. So you can constant 3. What is it called? Constant. Yeah, constant 3 vector. And this will be something so that we can just change out the color. So we go to this constant, and I'm gonna go with a nice blue-ish. I am going to switch this, so select your material here. We're going to switch this to a translucent under the blend mode. And then I can set the opacity, whatever we want. I want to be, you know, this with a constant. So you can just hold 1, click, plug that in there, and then select your, set this to like 0.5. That now it's see-through. Save this guy. That's all we really need to do with that. It saves. Okay, come on, save faster. You see, I'm trying to make faster videos here, and Unreal cooperating with me. I mean, I guess I can cut those parts out, but I'm lazy. I'm just kidding. I do cut out a lot, actually. See how many times I mess up and just cut out the entire video and redo it. All right, so we have the material, we have the bubble, we have our interfaces and our enumerator. Okay, so we should be good to go ahead and just make sure this should generate overlap events. Yeah, it generates overlap events. Good. All right, so that means we can come in here to our event graph, select the bubble, right click on it, go down to add event, add on begin overlap. And so this other actor here, we're going to want to find out, is this something that implementing that time interface? So it does implement interface. And if it does, I'm realizing that numerator and everything, we're not really going to be using it for this. Maybe we could do it for each thing, but anyways, if it does implement the time interface, so a nice way of, you can do this with a tag, or you could do it with whatever, or you can just do it to everything and just exclude the things that you don't want part of it. But in this case, we're just gonna do it for the objects that we want. So I'm going to be doing it for anything that has the time interface. We're just going to set its time dilation, which we need to pull off of the other actor here, and say set custom time dilation. And I kind of want this to be a little bit faster than our other one. I think our other one was 0.01, which is pretty slow. I think I'm going to do 0.05. That's almost 0.6. 0.06. We'll play around with that maybe. But let's clean this up. I don't know why, but I always like this to come across the top. Now, what I also want to do with this, though, is I want to make a variable, and think of type, objects being slowed, and that needs to be of type actor. Okay, and it needs to be an array. You just pull this out here, do a get on it, and say add. Then put that down there, plug that in, make another reroute so we keep our nice straight line there. So now any object that has that interface passes through, its time dilation will be set to that, and then we'll add it to this array. I skipped over a part that I wanted to do. Let's do an add event, or not add. Let's do an event begin play. Grab that up really fast, and then let's also do a custom event. I'm just gonna name this cleanup. Okay, and out of our event begin play, let's do a timer. Set timer by event. So you guys can actually read it. We're just gonna pull out of this event box here and plug it into the cleanup. I'm gonna set this for every 5 seconds. We don't really need start delays or anything. And so when it does clean up, we're going to take the objects being slowed, and we're going to do a for each loop. And if this is valid, this object that we're currently looking at through the loop, if it's valid, we're going to put its time dilation back to 1. Okay, why am I doing this? I swear, I get an idea in my head, and then I just don't know why I'm doing it like that. So what was I saying? On begin play every 5 seconds, we're going to... Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. We're going to basically be deleting the bubble itself. So actually, I could be doing this, honestly, just off one event. Destroy. So let's cut that really fast, and then real quick, let's do an event destroyed. Paste that back in and plug it in here. We can move this up to the top too with everything. Right there. So that'll set all that. And then we can also go and pull our array back out, and let's do a remove. And we're going to do remove item. Because then we can just pull from here and say remove this item from the array. I actually kind of want to do this. Okay, I got an idea. One more time. So we're going to do another custom event. Keep pulling this thing around everywhere. and we'll just call this reset. I know that's kind of confusing. We already have a cleanup and now we have a reset. I think cleanup would have been a better name for this, but whatever. Basically, I don't want the, like, on event destroyed, we can just call reset, right? And that is not what I wanted. Okay, so let's name this something different. Reset. Duh. That's a great name. Don't name yours that. Name it something better. Name it better. All right, reset stuff. There we go. I can't think of names right now. If you guys haven't noticed, it's 5:19 in the morning. My brain is not exactly great right now. During cleanup, we want to destroy ourselves. Okay, let's walk back through that crazy stuff that I just did. We're going on begin play. We're going to make a timer. Every 5 seconds, we're going to destroy the actor. So basically just meaning, hey, in 5 seconds, just blow up. So it's only going to happen once. We don't even really have to put looping on there, but whatever. That event destroyed is going to fire off our reset stuff. The reason that we made this its own custom event is so that we only have to write it once, right? Because on the bubble, let's right click on it and let's do end overlap. As soon as we end overlap, I'm going to go ahead and grab this does implement interface, copy paste it down here, plug it into other actor and plug the branch in up there. As soon as this bubble does end the overlap, we don't really need all that. All we really need is to, yeah. I am just not smart. Okay, so we can just grab these two. That's all we really needed from that was just these. We're gonna set that our whatever object this is. So imagine this is one projectile passing out of the bubble that's been slowed. Now we want to set it back to its normal speed. Right, and then also remove it from that array, so we're not trying to set it back to its normal speed again during the cleanup. Honestly, we could have just we can get rid of our reset stuff thing and move this down here. Once it's done doing all that, and then we can just plug this in there. I was right. I had it right the first time. I just should have, listened to my sleepy brain. Second guess myself, right? All right. So okay. On begin play, every 5 seconds, we're going to do cleanup. Cleanup is going to look through the array of objects that have been added to the array because they've passed into or overlapped the sphere, right? We're going to make sure that they haven't deleted themselves because the projectiles actually delete themselves every, I think it's 3 seconds, which reminds me, we're gonna go change that in a second. If that object is still around, we're going to set its time back to 1. It's time dilation. Remove it from the array and destroy ourself. We don't want to do that just yet. We want to do that once this has been completed. And reset stuff can just go away. And we don't need an event destroyed either. Which I mean, I guess we could have done this off of event destroyed, but whatever. But yeah, once we've gone through everything that's in this array, then we can destroy ourselves. Yeah. And overlap, interface. Yeah, okay, sorry. We will hurry up now. Okay, so yeah, like I was saying, the projectile, it likes to delete itself. And yeah, so if you select self on it and we go to life, lifespan, Yeah, there's 3 seconds. So let's do like 10. Let's type in 10 there. So after 10 seconds, this will just delete itself, which is a way we could have done this, but I like having more control on stuff than that. The projectile also deletes itself if it hits an actor, yeah, that's simulating physics. So as soon as it does that, it applies an impulse and then it deletes itself. Now we just got to spawn it in. Go back to our first person blueprints and open up our first person character. And I'm gonna make a function here really quick because we're also going to use this line trace for single target thing in our next video. So we'll go ahead and get that done right now because we're going to be using it for this as well. We'll just call this a setup trace. This is going to take a couple of things, but I'll show you guys a quick and fast way of doing this. What we can do is just say line trace by channel, and we're going to want the start. Actually, really all we want is the start. We don't want this. No, we don't. We want the object that we're going to be using to get the start. So look at the first person character. And I'm going to plug this in, but it's going to give us an output. But what we can do is we can just take that output and plug it right back in. That gives us an input for it instead. So I'm going to call this start object. Component, whatever, would work. Just going to delete this from the return node. We are going to have a return node, so we're going to just keep that. But we do want the start object. We can go ahead and set up another one for as a float, and we can call this one distance. And that's really all we need. I mean, we could do the draw debug. Let's go plug that in there. The reason we can do that is then we can just set up like, do we want to debug or not? All right. So off of our start object, we're going to want to get its world location, right? And that is going to go straight into start. Okay. And then we also want to get forward vector. We're going to multiply that by the distance. Then we can add operator. There we go. I'm going to plug this, switch it around to where this one's on the top. There we go. Add both of those together, our start world location and our little bit of math there. Plug them in. Then what we can turn just the stuff from this that we want. I like to have blocking hit. And hit actor. It's really all I'm going to be using for this. Oh, and location. I'm actually gonna. Can I move these around? I haven't been able to figure this out. So it used to be we could move these up and down. Oh, I can just drag it. I see it now. Never mind. I was looking at this during the testing. I was like, how the heck do you move stuff around now? Okay, so what we can do then is we can plug in location up here. Find out where exactly we hit, but I'd like having a location right there. Okay, so then our hit actor. See, because then we don't have any overlapping lines. It's nice and pretty. All right, so then we can just use this line setup trace, or setup line trace thing, multiple times. We can use this throughout anything now because it's very generic. So what we can do then is, I think I already set this. I forgot to delete this from when I was testing. Go to project settings, edit project settings. Go down to input and see if I forgot to delete. Yep, still here. No, that's slow time. Yeah, slow time bubble. So let me delete that really quick and we'll remake it so you guys can see. Action mappings, we're gonna do a plus. Gonna as you guys saw it, slow time underscore bubble. Then we're gonna get the key for it, which I want an R that I was using. Then in here I can just do slow time and pick the, there's the bubble one. Oh, I spelled it wrong. I said slow time. Yeah, we'll forget about it. So mine will be slow time. And then we can just take our setup line trace, plug this in, right? Get our first person camera. That'll be our start object. Honestly, this could have been, you could have actually set this up as an actor or just a component reference. I always like to use cameras, but if you want to use something else, there you go. Our distance, I'm going to say 3000. And our debug draw type, I'm going to say for duration. Now we can do a branch. Say, if we got a hit, want to know what that location was. We don't really care what the hit actor was, but we're going to care about that for the other next video. So then we can say spawn actor. Whoops, I guess I can't do it off of that. Oh yeah, because it takes a transform. That's why. Spawn actor from class. I don't care about the transform of it. We're just going to split this and just plug straight in the location of the transform of the other object. Sorry, whatever we hit. And then we can set this to time bubble. This should spawn the time bubble for us. Unless I'm missing something, which I don't think I am. Comment this and say spawn time bubble. Okay. I'll save. Play. And we press R. Nothing's happening. Are we getting a... Because I use blocking hit. I think it's because I use blocking hit. Okay. Yep. Okay. It's not actually a blocking hit. I'm not actually sure what a blocking hit is. I thought it was, you know, anything that. Get it. If you guys know, let me know. So what we're gonna do is instead of grabbing blocking hit, we're just gonna plug in return value because I know that's basically did it hit anything is what we were looking for. Let's make sure that works. I guess I could let the print string there, but all right, there it goes. I think I might have done my distance bad. I thought, oh, I only did 300. Need 3000. There we go. Play. There we go. All right. Now. You're not slowing down my object. Oh, I know why. We need to go back to the projectile and we need to go to class settings. Clear that filter. And let's go down to interfaces here, implemented, and add time interface. File save. And you know what, just to be thorough, we have the interface on here now. Whenever this asks what it is, it's going to return that it is a projectile. So like if I'm slowing down time on stuff and I want to know what all different types are, or if I want to specify something per type, we can go, okay, anything that's a projectile, we can do this, anything that's something else, we can do that, all without casting. Try this out. Got this guy. Yep, slowing down the balls. Go back to normal speed when it deletes or when it releases. Nice. Yep, there's the release. Okay, we saw the delete. So then we have everything else going normal speed. And there we go. All right, cool. So guys, in the next video, we will be working on slowing down a single target's time dilation. Now, one limitation with that is it will not work on a, well, I haven't been able to get it to work. Like, if you can hear my chair creaking. It won't work on an object's physics. Global time dilation will, right? But custom time dilation won't unless it's a pawn or a projectile. If anybody has an answer to that as to why, please let me know. I haven't been able to figure it out. And if you have a way around it, also let me know. I would really, really love to hear about it. But I will be showing you guys how to do it like I did in the first video on the doors, where that's utilizing a timeline or an animation or anything that's utilizing logic in order to move it along, other than just the game's physics, like gravity or whatever. It won't work. But like if it's using a logic, like a timeline, animation, whatever, then we can easily slow it down with time dilation. Other than that, we can't. So at least I can't. Hopefully somebody smarter than me can show us a way to do it better. But yeah, let's still make that video and show what I know about it. All right. Like, comment, subscribe. Link to the Discord in the description. Also check me out on Twitch. Link to that in the description. And I have a Patreon if you want to jump on that. All right. See you guys later.